I am Jade Ewalt, and I'm the mother to Keeley, Kambry, Coy, and Collins. Keeley and Kambry are identical twins. When I found out I was pregnant with them, it was about 7 weeks, and I was told at that point that my pregnancy was now high risk. When you're pregnant with identical twins, you are automatically considered high risk for something called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. At about 16 weeks, I found out that the twins had developed TTTS, and it's basically a blood share between twins. It's causing one twin to get bigger and sicker, receiving more blood from the other twin, while that twin is getting smaller and sicker. And so it can actually lead to the demise of one or both of the twins. At 18 weeks, the University of Iowa referred me to Cincinnati Children's Fetal Center to have a corrective surgery. The surgery was successful. I had only made it 4 weeks from having surgery when my water broke at home, and they were born at 22 weeks and 1 day. Keeley weighed 1 pound and was 11.5 inches long, and Kambry was 13.4 ounces and was 11 inches long. When Keeley was born, I just vaguely remember seeing her come to my bedside, and at the same time she was coming to me with a care team around her, Kambry was born. And so I was touching her, and Kambry was being born, shipping Keeley off to the NICU, and Kambry wasn't breathing, and so I had to send her to the NICU without even seeing her. But I was really scared, just knowing that the next preceding moments were going to be life-changing for us, not knowing that we would survive and live in the hospital for 5.5 months, and just knowing what the next chapter was going to bring. It was really just a whirlwind. At the time, we stayed at a place called Helen Rossi, but it was inside the Children's Hospital, and so we basically had an apartment here in the hospital, and then we were going home. You know, it was like true survival, just trying to get through the day, get through the next few hours. When you think about the hospital, it shouldn't feel like home, but it feels like home to us. I developed great relationships with the nursing staff, our doctors. Their bedside manner was not as if they were physicians or surgeons. They were talking to you in a way that they truly cared about us, and they would do anything just to make the hour easier for us at times if that's all we needed. Our complete sense of what reality was for us changed, and just knowing that I had, you know, 2 young children, 2 babies in completely different hospital rooms, it just made life feel less overwhelming. When the oxygen company came to set up, they brought tanks, and they bring enough that you can basically live off of these tanks for a few weeks. We had wires, oxygen wires everywhere. As the girls got older, they were basically playing tug of war with each other, and it was a lot like having a NICU in our home, and this was pre-COVID. I was providing care as if I was a NICU nurse. One of the first nights that we were home, I had only had one of the twins home at the time, waiting for the other to come home, and I almost just felt sick because I didn't think I could do it. It was so overwhelming, but it was a blessing because we got to walk out of the hospital when other families don't get to do that. You know, babies born this early, most would say, aren't going to go home, they're not going to survive. I just think of every day that I get to have with them. You know, it's a huge blessing. We get to share this story, and they get to be the hope for other babies. So when we found out about the Guinness World Record, Dr. Bell had contacted us. We'd just come home from the NICU. It was unbelievable at the time. It still is unbelievable to think they broke a 25-year record. It's been about 1.5 years ago now, but a set of twins in Canada broke their record, which is great. You know, thinking about that being obviously monumental for so many reasons. At the same time, Keeley and Kambry are still, when you look at them, you think that they're just normal kids, and you wouldn't know that they've gone through everything that they've gone through. Keeley and Kambry both live with autism. Keeley was most recently diagnosed. Kambry also has a seizure disorder, intellectual disability, and cerebral palsy. Keeley's biggest struggle is her vision. She has an effect in her eye from having oxygen delivered at such a high pressure. And so she is at risk of losing eyesight in one eye, but we've been just treating that here at the U ever since we left the NICU. They've gotten healthier and healthier and stronger, and they haven't looked back ever since. and they don't even know what happened. So we're starting to have those conversations with them now, but they're so silly and funny, and sometimes they're wrestling each other, and they kind of leave a trail everywhere they go, collecting people that love them and love seeing them together. So it's really cool.
Collins and 8 years old.
What's your favorite thing about the sisters?
That they're funny. Just how they play together.
You are so funny.
It is very common on a weekly basis that I'll hear from someone who heard our story and it impacted their child, or it brought them out of state to Iowa. And so connecting through these organizations is making it possible for more and more babies to receive care. Definitely wouldn't say that this is ever how I wanted our story to go, but I'm grateful. It's changed me to become a better person. It's allowed me to raise my kids to be better people. It's connected us with great people. And you know, there is beauty in the grief. And while we still grieve, you know, there's so much joy that can come out of that.